You're probably wondering what all those boxes are doing back there. I'm going to explain that in just a minute. And I'll also answer all your questions about eBay and Amazon dropshipping. But first, I wanted to answer a question that everyone was talking about this week, and that is the recent Supreme Court decision, South Dakota versus Wayfair, where the Supreme Court has basically said that states are now allowed to require us as online sellers to collect sales tax on behalf of the states, even if we don't have a physical presence inside those states. So prior to last week, before the Supreme Court made this decision about internet sales tax, the rule was that we had to have some sort of physical presence inside the state that wanted us to collect the sales tax for that state. That's no longer the rule. Now the rule is basically that, let's see what I have here. Yeah, they just need some sort of substantial nexus is the rule, is the words that the Supreme Court used. And that basically means that we have to, in some way, take advantage of the fact that we are selling items into this state. So the only state that the Supreme Court said had a valid law was South Dakota's law. And South Dakota's law states that a company that sells more than $100,000 a year to customers in the state of South Dakota has a substantial nexus. Alternatively, it also applies to people that have at least 200 separate transactions for the delivery of goods or services into the state within a year. That counts as a substantial nexus. So the $100,000 is something I'm not too worried about because it's kind of hard to sell $100,000 into one state within a year for most drop shippers. But 200 transactions, that's pretty easy to hit. And I use a software called GoDaddy Bookkeeping. I actually kind of stopped using it, but I still had it running. And the great thing about GoDaddy Bookkeeping is that it will tell me how many transactions I have for each state. So for South Dakota, I don't have 200 transactions within the state yet. So I'm fine with that. But there are other states that do have similar or identical laws that after the Supreme Court's ruling are valid. So are things that we have to start thinking about. Now, the Supreme Court didn't quite give a full guideline of what qualifies as a valid law under this new precedent that they created. But there are several other state laws that do exist. Many of them are identical. I'm not going to go through all of them right now for you guys, but if you do go to the first link in the description of this video, that's going to outline all the different states and which ones have the laws in place that you might want to start looking at. And I do suggest that you do use something like GoDaddy Bookkeeping, which will break down for you state by state how many transactions you have in each state. Now, if you do click on that first link in the description of this video, it's not only going to tell you what those states are, but it also has a link to a petition that eBay actually created, trying to petition Congress to pass national laws for small e-commerce sellers such as ourselves. Because the problem here is that we are now going to be tasked with going in and collecting sales tax for many of these different states. And that can be just annoying. It could be a big burden for a lot of people. For most new sellers, this isn't going to be a problem for a while because you do have to get to that 200 transactions in a month threshold. It's unlikely that you will get to 100. Hey guys, say hi to Chad. Hi. It's unlikely that you'll get to the $100,000 worth of transactions within one state within a year. But the 200 transactions in a year is very possible to hit. I've hit it myself for many of these states. So it's not a huge deal. It's just, I'll have to start collecting sales tax for those states. I made a whole video about this, but it is annoying. So it is something that eBay is fighting actively. So they do have that petition. If you're interested in signing that, that's the first link in the description of this video. And that will take you to a little page I put together with some more information. And you can sign the petition to petition Congress to pass some sort of laws to make this easier on small sellers such as ourselves. So yeah, that's basically all I have about this. I know a lot of people had some questions. John Hicks was asking me a question about this and wants to know some more information. So I think that's pretty much all the information that's going to help you. eBay, if you click on the petition, they're basically saying that the petition takes just a minute to complete, and they're going to be delivering the petition to President Trump, key members of Congress, and select state governors. And they just want our political leaders to know that this is going to have an impact on us small sellers potentially. I also saw a comment from Vex. Vex said, I'm going to play ignorant and not care what the US Supreme Court decided or ruled, and I'm only going to collect sales tax for the state that I reside in. Vex, I do suggest that you do look into this at least. I don't think it's a smart idea to just ignore it. Like I said, for most new sellers, this isn't going to be a problem. And that's the great thing, is that because there's that high threshold of $100,000 in sales or 200 items, it's not going to hit small sellers, new sellers right away. It's only going to become a potential problem later on. And by the time you get to that point, which I am at that point, I'm more set up to to take care of that. And I'll be making more videos as I learn more information about this. I'm really hoping that the software I use, TaxJar, will make this super easy for me to do. And they are having a webinar in a few weeks that I'll be attending to gather in more information, and then I'll translate that in a way that makes sense for eBay and Amazon dropshipping. So then I'll relay that information to you guys as well once I find out that information. So if you do want that petition, make sure that you do sign it underneath here. So let's see who we have here. We have Benny was the first one in today. So welcome, Benny. Don's here. Ed's here from Long Island, New York, my home town, so to speak. So welcome, Ed. Timothy's here. And Nancy is here asking about the contest. Yeah, if you guys haven't heard, I hit 10,000 subscribers last week. So as a way to say thank you, I have a contest going on. If you want all the information about that, the second link in the description of this video will tell you all the different ways you can win. There's, I think, 5 different prizes. You can win a free entry to my course, free coaching, a free entry to my Super Simple VAs course, or an Amazon gift card. So if you want to learn exactly how to do that, make sure that you do click the second link in the description of this video. But I'll tell you that the #1 way to enter is to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just click subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can get alerts every time I go live. And Mike saying there's $1 million prize tonight. I heard it on the internet. Sorry, Mike, you're in the wrong place. I don't have $1 million prize. Okay, and then, yeah, so thanks everyone who has congratulated me on 100,000 subscribers. Really appreciate all the support that everyone has been giving me for that. So let's see. Andrew's here from Albuquerque. Laura says that she's heard that eBay is purposely targeting sellers with Amazon listings and slowing down their sales. It is being recommended to delete all Amazon listings right now and replace them with Walmart. This was a rumor that I've heard from actually from just one other person, and I don't have any way to independently verify this. So I don't know if that rumor is true. I don't know exactly how eBay would purposely target Amazon items. So I wouldn't believe it until I had some more concrete proof. I think this all relates back to April 20th, when a lot of us saw a slowdown in sales, and dropshippers in Israel sued eBay, and eBay kind of admitted that at least for eBay Israel, they were throttling back sales for those sellers over there. And I think that's kind of sparked a bunch of rumors about what's going on. And this might be another one of those. But if I am wrong and someone has more information, please let me know, because I haven't found a very reputable source that is saying that that's true. Okay. And Ed's saying he's in Nassau County. Okay, Ed, I grew up out in Suffolk County, but pretty much neighbors if you think about the grand scale of the whole planet there. Okay. Everyone's saying hi, Chad. Okay, and Thrift Trader says, I made my first sale. I'm scared to death of using Prime for drop shipping. This is a common fear that a lot of people have when they start drop shipping from Amazon to eBay. And in my experience is that it's okay. It's totally fine. I've had, thousands and thousands of sales from Amazon to eBay, and I've always used Prime. And I have some buddies of mine that have had tens of thousands of sales from Amazon to eBay. They always use Prime. They use their Prime 5% back cashback credit card and never had any problems with any of it. So I do recommend that you use Prime for the fast 2-day shipping, and I wouldn't worry about any issues with it. Okay. And Engel saying, sounds like we'll need to get a lot of different retailer certificate in reference to the state sales tax. I don't exactly know, I'm not gonna lie, I don't exactly know how this would work. I think we wouldn't really need a retailer's, maybe it would be called a retailer certificate. I think we would just have to register with those states to collect sales tax. I checked for myself and saw that there were about 5 or 6 states that I will have to start collecting sales tax for, in addition to New York, which I already collect sales tax for, which is really not too bad, especially because TaxJar is going to track all that for me. So again, as I learn more, I'll let you guys know more about that. And I'm just, I've been trying to scheme up ways to try to get around this 200 transaction limit, because the $100,000 isn't the problem. It's the 200 transaction limit that's the problem. And that's the one I was kind of thinking, is there a way that we can consolidate all the transactions into one? But no, I don't think that would really work. And the other thing I'll say about this decision that I should have mentioned before is that the Supreme Court, they changed the rule basically saying that the substantial nexus no longer requires a physical presence in the state. And they did say that South Dakota's law was valid, but that's all they said. They didn't really elaborate more on that. So any state laws that match South Dakota's law, we know is going to be valid. And I think I misspoke before. I think I said 100,000, but it is 100,000, yes. So any states that match that state law or are less burdensome are going to be valid. So for instance, let's see. So Maine has the same exact law, $100,000 or more in sales or 200 or more separate transactions. So that law we know is valid. We also see Mississippi, which has a law that says if you sell more than $250,000 within a year into the state of Mississippi, you would have to start collecting sales tax from Mississippi. That would be a valid law. But there's another law, for instance, Washington's law says that if you sell $10,000 or more in sales into the state of Washington in the past 12 months, you have to start collecting sales tax. That's a much lower threshold than $100,000. So it's possible that someone will fight that law and bring it up to a higher court, and then maybe we'll get some more guidance on how to apply this new Supreme Court ruling at that point. So I hope that kind of clears up how this whole dynamic works between the Supreme Court and the state's laws, and then Congress can obviously do whatever they do to try to make things a little more uniform. Okay. Let's see. And Alice says, is it legal to collect sales tax from other states that you don't have that substantial nexus with? So Alice, if you collect sales tax for a state, you have to send it to that state either once a quarter or once a year, depending on how they want you to do it. You're not allowed to collect sales tax and then keep it for yourself. That's not allowed. But yeah, good question. Somebody else asked this question. What happens if you're not sure if you're going to hit 200 transactions? So up until you hit 200 transactions, you're not going to be collecting sales tax. Then do you owe sales tax for those past items? I don't know. That's a really good question that I'm going to have to find the answer to myself. So I'm going to write down that question for myself. What happens before hitting 200 sales? I'll try to find someone to give me the answer on that, although people might not know the answer. And Engel makes a suggestion, says split the sales between different corporations. I don't know if that would work. You'll have to see. And then you would have to start creating more and more corporations as your sales grow. So yeah, it might just be more burden than anything else. Okay. All right, we have Ginger Hustle. Says, I'm 17 and I started drop shipping about 2 weeks ago and I'm on the grind. I know it'll take a while to grow, but I'll get there. My question is, do you drop ship internationally from your store? Great question. I love the hustle. I love that you're only 17 and you're doing this. Make sure that you keep coming back and letting us know about your progress. I love hearing people starting this so early. I wish that I had done it back when I was 17. As to your question about drop shipping internationally, yes, I definitely do that. When I drop ship on eBay, I use eBay's global shipping program. It's often called the GSP. And the way that works is that you buy the person buys the item from you, and then you ship the item to eBay's headquarters in Erlanger, Kentucky. eBay then repackages it and puts on a new shipping label and then ships it themselves to the customer overseas. The customer pays you the same amount that anyone else would pay you, but they also pay eBay additional money to ship the item and for international tariffs and fees and all of that. So it really makes the international shipping much easier. So people were asking about these boxes back there and what's going on with that. If any of you have been watching my channel for a long time, in the past I used to have a ton of boxes behind me when I had some problems with returns being delivered back to my house. I fixed that problem. This is for a special video I'm making. Hopefully it's going to be released later this week. So if you want to make sure you get that video, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. And basically what I'm doing is I've been wondering why so few of my customers complain about the fact that their drop shipping items arrive in boxes from Home Depot or Walmart or Amazon if I'm drop shipping onto eBay. And so I figured what I would do is I would actually go on eBay myself, find other drop shippers and order a whole bunch of different stuff from them, get it delivered to my house. And I'm going to take a look at what the packages look like and then kind of unbox them with you guys on video, showing you the invoices, what the boxes look like, and trying to figure out why customers don't care that they come in boxes from other companies. So I'll be releasing that video later this week. So if you want to make sure you get that, make sure that you do subscribe to the channel. Okay, and White and Gray Boutique kind of asks a question that kind of relates to that. It says, how do returns work? Do the items come to you or to the source? Thanks in advance. Great question. So the way it works is the buyer opens up a return request on eBay. Then I go to my source's website. Let's say it's Home Depot. I open up a chat with Home Depot and tell them, hey, I want to return this item. Home Depot will email me a return label. Then I forward that label, to my customer on eBay. They print it out and they ship the item directly back to Home Depot. I never see the item. Now, eBay is kind of changing some things up where they're going to start to have these automatic returns. And with these automatic returns, what could potentially happen is that they'll have the option as soon as they ask to return the item to print out a label, which they can then use and ship the item directly to me. I don't want that to happen. So I'm combating that in two ways. One, I turned on what's called the RMA feature, and I have a video about how to do this. I'll link it up at the end of the video. It basically requires the seller, that's us, to provide an RMA, a return merchant authorization number, every time someone wants to return an item. And what that does is effectively stall the process of the return. It stalls it long enough for me to go on Home Depot, get the return label, and send it to the customer. And I tell the customer, use this label instead. This is going to the correct warehouse. Do not print a label from eBay, otherwise it will go to the wrong place and it could delay your return. So I give them that label, and that's going to fix that process. The other thing I'm doing is inside my settings on eBay, it asks me for my return address. And in there, I actually put in, please contact me for a free prepaid label. That way they know that they can't use that because there's no address there, and they have to contact me for that return label. So that's the way to kind of combat that new feature that eBay is rolling out. And I think that's going to work. But of course, I'll take a look at it when it actually happens and let you guys know what happens. Okay. Yes, Carrie's asking a great question, more about this sales tax nonsense. Carrie says, I have an important question. Will my sales tax exemption on websites like Home Depot and Walmart and Amazon still work? And as far as I know, yes. Again, I'm not an expert on this. So what Carrie's speaking about is when I order items from Home Depot or Walmart or Amazon, I don't pay sales tax for most of those items. And you have to set that up to get that. And as far as I know, that's not going to be impacted by this decision at all. I don't see why it would be. Whoa, Krista just sent me my first super chat. Thank you so much, Krista. Super chats are just a little way to put some money back into the channel. Krista just sent me $1.99. So thank you so much, Krista. Krista Benjamin says, thank you for staying on top of this and sharing. My pleasure. I really love coming out and doing this for you guys. And thanks for the little tip of $1.99. I could buy myself a nice cookie with that. Or maybe I'll buy a treat for the dog. Okay. Okay. Brett Berry says, what are we supposed to have a VPN for? I don't understand what we need one for. So a VPN stands for a virtual private network, Brett. And what you use a VPN for is really for your VAs more than anything, Brett. So what you do is your VAs are usually overseas, let's say in the Philippines. And when they try to access websites like HomeDepot.com, they oftentimes can't access them or can't purchase items from them because Home Depot set it up so only users from within the United States can access and shop from their website. A VPN kind of hides where the person is using their computer from. So they can make it look like they're living inside the United States and using a computer inside the United States. So that's what a VPN can do. That way your VAs can help you run your business that way. Another great benefit of a VPN for you personally is, now, I think this is correct. I'm not a computer expert, but what I've been told is that if you're on a public network, let's say you're at Starbucks working on your business, that's not a secure Wi-Fi signal. Anyone could easily hack into your computer if you're using public Wi-Fi. But from my understanding is if you use a VPN, that's much harder for someone to hack into your computer that way, from what I hear. And Frank says, everyone should smash the thumbs up button. Thanks for the reminder, Frank. So if everyone's liking this video, if you're finding it helpful, do make sure that you give this video a thumbs up. Really appreciate that. And Barney's says, I will join your eBay Dropshipping Titans course soon. Thanks so much, man, for the support. And let me know when you do, and I'd love to hear about your progress with it. Okay, so another question from someone else this week. Connor was asking me, when I check out at Walmart.com, I'm trying to use PayPal to check out, and it's not working, it's not connecting. It works occasionally. For example, I just fulfilled an order, but it won't connect anymore after 2 orders I have. Have you ever come across this? I have come across this before. And when I called Walmart about it, they said they call PayPal. And when I called PayPal about it, they said it's basically a fraud protection, something that happens automatically. And what I discovered was it was happening because I was using a VPN. And for some reason, that looks kind of suspicious to PayPal, which is why I couldn't do it. So Connor, if you're using a VPN when you're shopping on Walmart, that might be the issue. If you're outside the United States, that could be another reason why as well. And if you're traveling a lot, or for some reason changing IP addresses a lot, that could be a red flag for PayPal as well. So I would try giving them a call and asking them what the issue is. It looks like it's not connecting, but I bet you that PayPal is registering what the problem is, and you can talk to them and they'll be able to better define it for you. And try to use the same computer every time, and maybe try a different browser. It could just be the browser as well. And I think from what I remember, they also suggested that it clear the cookies and the history, and then try it again after that. And Sue was asking me a question this week about virtual assistants. Sue was asking, what exactly do virtual assistants do for your business? Great question, Sue. And the short answer is that they do everything for me. So anything that you do to run your business, no matter what business you have, you can pretty much train a virtual assistant to do that as well. So for eBay dropshipping or Amazon dropshipping, that means fulfilling orders, listing items, doing customer service, doing returns, cases, all of that. I've trained my virtual assistants to do all of that. So then I can focus more time on growing and expanding my business, finding strategies to make more profit, different things like that. So I outsource the things that are very routine, things that I don't want to have to worry about on a daily basis because I can easily outsource them to other people. Okay, Sean Davis says, I started my own store for drop shipping. Do you think Facebook ads will be sufficient enough? And what advertising platforms do I suggest? So it sounds like this is not an eBay or Amazon store. It sounds like this is a Shopify store, perhaps. I don't have too much experience with this. I tried this in the past, didn't work so well, so I can't give you great advice on this. I do know that Facebook ads are extremely powerful if you do them correctly. And to do them correctly, you want to retarget people that are already interested in your products. So people that have already visited your website, you want to do a retargeting campaign for those people. But this is something that I've never done very effectively myself, so I can't really give you great advice on how to do that. But if it is an eBay or Amazon store, I do not suggest that you do Facebook ads because will just cut into your margins too much, I believe. Michael Gaunt says, I'm new to all this. Should I get my tax-exempt paperwork completed and submitted before I aggressively start listing? No, I don't think so. Ideally, you would do both at once. You would start listing right now, Michael, like right now. Like just open up a new tab as you're listening to this and start listing aggressively into your store. And then when the video is over, go in and start applying for the tax-exempt certificates and getting everything submitted to the different companies or the different websites that you want to become tax exempt on. So I would do both at the same time. Okay, Solomon's asking me about this new eBay Developers API terms and what this means. So what Solomon is referring to is eBay's terms of service for their developers program. And the developers program, I don't want to get too much into this, but it's just basically a way for us to get keys that we can then use to integrate software with our eBay store. So for a lot of people, they use these keys to use with repricing software. But if you go into the terms of service, it says you can't use these keys or the developers program to use with repricers. The problem is, even though that's the stated rule, it's never been enforced. I think it's about a year old now. And a lot of these repricing softwares don't use the developers program. They use some other method. So it's not something I'm worried about. And even though some people, okay, here's the thing. Some people have posted some pictures in certain groups on Facebook that are apparently emails that came from eBay saying you violated eBay's developers program terms of service, so you're being kicked off eBay or you're being kicked out of the developer program. Now, here is the fishy thing for me about these screenshots. This recently came to light about the terms of service for the developers program. It recently came to light through a video that Jack Pittman did over on his channel. And before that, no one was speaking about it. Yet right after Jack made that video, one or two people posted pictures in groups saying they were kicked off for that same reason. That seems a little strange to me. And when the people took the screenshots, they didn't show the to or the subject or the from line of the email. So I hate to say this, but I'm not convinced that those emails were legit. I don't know the people that posted them, but I do not believe that they were real. And this is not something that I'm worried about because, again, this is an old rule that hasn't been enforced. And this isn't exactly the way that a lot of the repricing software actually works. Okay. Okay. Crindrel says, hey, Paul, my name is Mike. I've been subscribed to your channel. I've been binge watching your videos as I go down the road for the last 3 days. Hope I can join your course soon. So welcome, Mike. It's great to have you subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I hope to see you inside the course. Make sure that you enter the contest, the second link in the description of the video, because you might be able to win a free entry to the course, Mike. And Jason makes a great recommendation, says start with eBay first, then move on to Shopify. And in the meantime, learn more about advertising and Facebook ads. So great suggestion there, Jason. I actually highly recommend that as well. I think eBay is a great stepping stone into other e-commerce platforms. It's just much easier to manage than other platforms, especially Shopify. Okay. Okay. Brett Berry says, Zeek Analytics, is this a necessary expense? Is it helpful as far as drop shipping is concerned? Great question, Brett. So Zeek Analytics is a software that allows you to do competitor research for eBay listings. So you can go in, see what other sellers are selling, find their most popular items, and then choose if you want to list those items yourself. Is this necessary? No, it's not. Does it help speed up the process? Yes, I do think it does. And Zeek Analytics is a really good software. There are other ones like it out there, like DS Genie, Shopify, or just a couple of them. There's a few others. But Zeek Analytics and all of these are great softwares. They speed things up quite a bit. I do think it is worth it if you want to scale up more quickly. I'll say that. But no, it's not necessary. Actually, if you click let's see which link it is. The fourth link in the description of this video, it says free eBay dropshipping webinar. That's going to show you how to do it manually, Brett. So if you don't want to use Zeek Analytics, click that link, check out that video. That's going to show you how to manually find these items without using software. Okay, let's see what the questions I had from other people this week. Let's see. Rob P asked this question. And by the way, if you're watching this on replay and you have a question that you wish you could have asked during this live stream, make sure that you do leave your question in the comment section of any of my videos or in this video right now. Leave your question right down there or just say hi to me and I will answer your question in next week's video. I do them every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time on my YouTube channel. So if you want to make sure you don't miss it next time, make sure you do subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification so you get an alert about it. So Rob P is asking me, I have a buyer who did not pay and wanted to cancel the order when I contacted him. He quoted the reason as he wants the item to be shipped to Puerto Rico, which I do not ship to. I only ship within the United States and lower 48 states. And it clearly listed my policy. I think something got cut off here. But Rob, all you have to do is the buyer's asking you to cancel the order. So just go ahead and cancel the order for them. And when asked for the reason, just state there's something wrong with the buyer's shipping address. Now, if you hadn't contacted the buyer yet, and it was a good thing that you did, I would have sent them a message that says, I'm sorry, we cannot ship this item to you. We do not ship items to Puerto Rico at this time, as it states in our policies on our listing. Sorry for the inconvenience. We'll refund your money right away. And then you would cancel the order by choosing something wrong with the buyer's shipping address. Now, if for some reason the buyer leaves you a negative feedback in that situation, you're off the hook. Then you just call eBay and tell them, hey, I don't ship items to Puerto Rico. It clearly states that in my listing. This person bought it anyway and wanted me to ship it there, which is why I had to cancel the order. Then eBay should remove that negative feedback. If they don't, hang up, call back, because the next person or the person after that will remove it. Some of the agents are just really strict and just never want to remove any negative feedback, even if it violates a rule. So just call someone, because that one definitely will be removed. John also asked a question this week. John asks about what I do. He asked me, is this really drop shipping or is it retail arbitrage? What is the difference? So retail arbitrage is when you go out to stores, find items at one price, and then sell them online for a higher price. I guess it doesn't even have to be online. You sell them anywhere else for a higher price. And drop shipping is when you sell an item online that you don't have in stock, then buy it and ship it out to the customer directly. So this is kind of a merger between both of these. So you could call this retail arbitrage drop shipping, but that's kind of a mouthful. So we just condense it down to drop shipping, basically. But you are correct. This is a form of retail arbitrage, definitely. Okay, MJ, oh, okay, MJ Rob just retract his message. So I don't know what it said. Okay. ADDI asks a question. I don't know if this has much to do with the subject of the stream, but how much money do you recommend for starting with eBay dropshipping? Thank you. So great question. And what I suggest you do is after this video is over, you look up a video I made called How Much Money Does It Start to Drop? How much money does it cost to start dropshipping on eBay? And that breaks it down for you exactly. And I'll try to link that up at the end of this video as well. I'm gonna write a note for myself for that one. Get started. And I know there's another video it's supposed to link up, but I've already forgotten what it is. But that's okay. I'll watch it back later. Steve says, can you drop ship from other stores such as Sam's Club or Walgreens? So I talk a lot on this channel about drop shipping from Home Depot, Walmart, Amazon, but people drop ship from literally every online retailer available. Some are better than others. I do know people that drop ship from Sam's Club. I don't really know anybody who does it from Walgreens, although I'm sure there are. The great thing about these like other websites that people don't commonly drop ship from is that competition will be lower. The drawback is that there's not many softwares that work with it, such as my favorite one, DSM Tool, doesn't work with all these different retailers, but one like SKUGrid and SKU Lister will work with these other websites as well. So that's kind of the drawback. Plus, you have to make sure that they are dropship friendly, that they're going to ship out the items on time, upload tracking numbers, all that stuff. So I would kind of do a test run, get an item shipped to your own house from these online websites, see what it looks like, see how long it takes, see what the return process is like, and then decide for yourself whether you want to go all in with that source and get them to really be a main supplier for you. Okay. Yes. So Crindril says, if I have two eBay stores with two different email addresses, one's mine, the other one's my wife's, can we use the same PayPal account for both sales and income? Yes, definitely. You have to have a new email address for every eBay account that you set up, but you can have multiple eBay accounts connected to one PayPal account at a time. So that's more than fine. And Timothy says, I signed the petition even though I don't see Virginia on the list. And Timothy, I'm assuming, is from Virginia. And as I understand it, anyone can sign that petition. I got to look at it again. So I want to make sure I'm giving you the right information. Because it is going to, so it is going to the federal government, the president. So anyone can sign this. This is going to impact you whether your state's on there or not. Remember, this is impacting you if you ship items into any of the states on the list. So if you drop ship items into South Dakota, Tennessee, Vermont, Washington, Wyoming, Mississippi, Maine, Louisiana, all those ones on that list, this could potentially impact you, which is all of us, right? You might not hit the threshold now, but if you keep listing and keep working, you will hit that threshold eventually. So you want to make sure that you do sign that petition if you're interested in, at least getting our voices heard on this subject. Okay. Let's see. And Janine S says, Sam's Club was great, but then put a cap on their free shipping to stop drop shippers. Yes, I have heard that as well. I think it has something to do with when you ship to multiple addresses, after a certain point, they're going to stop the free shipping for your account. So just something to be aware of. That's why you should always move slowly when it comes to trying a new source. I've made that mistake before. It was great while it lasted with some of these sources, but after a while, they catch on and they don't like you doing that. Some sources don't care though. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Another question this week from David. David asked me, if I start an eBay store, will eBay automatically send me a 1099? David's basically asking what happens at the end of the year when it comes to income tax. You won't get that from eBay, but you can get one from PayPal. And we have a question here from PHXIE, so kind of like Pixie, sort of. Hi, Paul. I love your content, and I'm a member of your VA course. I guess there wasn't a question there. Okay. Okay, so. Ginger Hustle says, what is the average price of the items you list? So I have a wide range of prices of items that I list, Ginger. Some of them are really cheap. Some of them are several $100s. So at this point, it's just a wide net there. You're new. So what I recommend is that you do sell cheaper items. The reason being is that it's more likely that those items will sell, and that's going to gain momentum for your store. I especially think that listing from Amazon is a great place to start because they do get free 2-day shipping, and you can sell lots of really cheap items. And even if you don't make much money at first, the goal is just to get some momentum going with your sales, and then you can raise the prices later when you list more items into your store. Aaron asked a great question that I kind of wish I knew the answer to. Aaron says, why would sources care if we are drop shipping the items? They're getting more sales. And yeah, I agree. So there's a couple of theories I have about this, why some sources might not like us drop shipping from them. And one of them is something to do with, I guess, brand, deterioration, so to speak, where if I'm drop shipping an item from Sam's Club, they get the item in a Sam's Club's box, and now they, it might confuse the customer about whether they're getting the item from Sam's Club or for eBay, and now the customer is upset, so they're calling up Sam's Club, and Sam's Club has no idea what they're talking about, so it looks bad for them. That's the only thing I can think of. But in the end, I don't think it makes a lot of sense for them to complain about it, because they are getting a lot more sales if they would just allow us to drop ship from them. Okay, Let's Get Clicking asks a question. Can you do drop shipping as a regular person? In other words, without a business name? And if so, can I change the name afterwards? So yes, absolutely. You could run what's called a sole proprietorship, and you don't have to set anything up for this. You are a sole proprietor if you start any sort of business right now. So if you start selling on eBay right now, you're a sole proprietor. If you go out on the street and sell lemonade, you're a sole proprietor. Now, if you go and set up a corporation, then you'll be a corporation. If you set up an LLC, then you'll be a limited liability company. But you can do that later and then sort of convert your assets or sell your assets to that company that you've created, which is technically separate from yourself, even if it's effectively you who's running the whole show. Okay. Jay Easy says, do you think blind drop shipping, in other words, hiding the supplier, is necessary when selling an item to a customer? No, I do not think that's necessary. And I will be making a video later this week explaining exactly why that is. So Jay, if you want to make sure that you see that video, make sure that you do subscribe to the channel or come back later in the week for that. Jonathan says that he has a friend who sold on eBay and was a top seller at one point and was making only about $1 to $2 per item, and wants to know, I guess, my opinion on that. So Jonathan, for a lot of top sellers who sell a lot of items, they're only going to make $1 or $2 per item, but they're selling so much that they're still making hundreds of dollars a day in profit because they sell such high volume. So for those sellers, it is worth it just to make $1 or $2 per item. Okay, Sean says, how much should I sell lemonade for on the street? Great question, Sean. What I would do is some research on this. Check out other lemonade stands in your town, see what the going rate is for them, and just undercut them by a penny. And then make sure that you put a sign in front of their lemonade stand, even if it's a little kid, and let them know that you have cheaper lemonade around the corner. And maybe you want to throw in a bonus, also throw in some cookies along with that lemonade, so you get the sales when the other stores won't. Solomon asks if it is okay to include a logo on his images. This is technically against eBay's rules. They don't want sellers to create borders on their images or a little logo or anything that's kind of like cheating to make their image look better. Do sellers do it anyway? Yes. And does eBay remove those sellers or kick them off the platform for doing it? No, they don't. I see very successful sellers who are doing that. So I know it does work. I don't do it because it is against their rules and it's not something I want to risk. But people do it. So it may be something you want to try around with. Just understand, though, that it is against the rules to do it. Okay. People are laughing at my lemonade advice. Okay. John says, the cops will bust you if you're not licensed for lemonade. True story. Yeah, I have actually heard about that, which is really sad. But okay. Okay. NoTV asks a question, says, what do I put as the phone number when I check out on HomeDepot.com, or really when I check out on any website for that matter? So when you check out, you always have the option of entering a phone number. Actually, I think most online retailers require a phone number so they can contact you if there's any issues with the order or the delivery. So when it comes to this is a choice that you have to make. When you drop ship from a website like Walmart, you're only going to order one item per order, and it's always going to be shipped to the same customer, right? So you can put in your customer's address, and the benefit of that is that if there's a problem with the shipment, FedEx, they're going to call the customer, and the customer can say, oh, the street address is wrong. It's supposed to be, instead of 123, it's supposed to be 132 Main Street. So that kind of streamlines the process. If you put in your own address, though, the benefit of that is that if Walmart ends up calling that phone number, they're not going to reach the customer who's going to be very confused. They're going to reach you instead. That being said, 9 times out of 10, the person who calls is FedEx or UPS trying to figure out where the package should go. So it might be better for a website like Walmart to put in the buyer's phone number, which you can get in eBay or you can get from a DSM tool if you use that. For Amazon, really depends on whether you do multiple items. I'm sorry, you can put a different phone number for each address. So for that one, again, it's the same choice you make. With Home Depot, though, if I'm remembering correctly, you can only have one phone number per order. So in that case, I always put my own phone number, and it's actually a Google number that I created. So it's not going on my phone, and my phone's not ringing with all the stuff. It gets sent to a voicemail, and then the voicemail gets emailed to my email, and then my VAs can actually read the transcript or just listen to the voicemail. Okay. Oh, this is terrible. Nancy's telling me that a little kid in Texas had to give up their lemonade stand. That's really terrible. And Solomon says, thanks for all your help. I'm slamming the like button. So if you guys are getting some value out of this, make sure that you do give this video a thumbs up, and make sure that you sign that petition if you're interested in that. Yes. So Angelica says, can you combine items to meet the free shipping threshold? So on Home Depot, the free shipping is $45 order or more. So with that, as long as you have multiple different customer items that are being drop shipped from Home Depot, you can combine them into one order, but ship to multiple addresses and still get the free shipping. If it's from Walmart, you can't do that. So one trick with Walmart is to combine 2 items or the same item twice that will qualify for free shipping. So if you have a side table, and the side table costs $25, so you take one side table and you bundle it. So now there's 2 side tables in the listing. Now the item will cost you $50, so it will qualify for free shipping on Walmart. And you would just have to play with the percentages on your listing software like DSM tool to account for not only the first table, but for the second one as well, along with the extra fees and the profit that you want. Okay. Okay. And NoTV says, wouldn't you want to sell higher price items to get more cash back? So what NoTV is talking about is you can use a cashback credit card to get some extra money every time you swipe that card, or you can you can use a cashback website like Giving Assistant, which might give you like 3% back on an order. So presumably, the more expensive the item is, the more cash back you're going to get, and that's absolutely true. That just depends on your business model, really. Whether you want to concentrate more on profit on the front end or more profit in cash back. And I always recommend that you at least try to get some decent profit on the front end, and just try to think of the cash back as a bonus. Though some people, play the game a little differently. So it's really up to you. And Julia Pretty Wolf says that her sales are picking up. So really glad to hear that, Julia. She's been a member of my course, I think, from the beginning, right, Julia? So yeah, really happy that you're here. Happy that your sales are picking up. Okay. And Mike AZ says, Paul, why do you choose Giving Assistant over Ebates? Ebates has 10% cash back on Walmart. I just use Giving Assistant as an example because they tend to pay out very consistently for Home Depot, which is a major source that I use. But I do, on a weekly basis, go to, what's a website called? Cashbackmonitor.com, which kind of pulls the information from all these different websites, eBay, Ebates, Giving Assistant, Simply Best Coupon, for instance, tells me which one's paying out the highest percentage that week. And that's the one I tell my VAs to use. I tend to stick with Giving Assistant when it comes to Home Depot, just because they've been very consistent and worked really well with that one. Let's see. Coming up on the hour, but I have time for a couple more questions for you guys. And Vince says, I started the course 2 weeks ago and already have $1,200 gross so far. Congratulations, Vince. Really excited to hear that. And Nancy's saying Ebates does not pay out for Home Depot. So there you go. And Steve is reminding us, thanks, Steve, for this reminder that even though Ebates says 10% for Walmart, it's only certain categories, certain departments. And you'll see this a lot with Amazon as well. You'll go on a website and it'll say like 15% back on Amazon, but it's only like certain departments or certain types of items. So you just got to be aware of that when you're using these websites. Brian asked me, says, I'm getting ready to start your course, Dropshipping Titans. One question I have is it better to start a new dropshipping store or continue with the reselling store that I have? Thanks for all the great info. So Brian, if you already have a store where you're reselling items, maybe that you found in thrift stores or garage sales, then I do recommend that you start a second store specifically for eBay dropshipping. And the reason for that is for two reasons. One, you're going to have different business policies because with thrifting, you have that item in stock. Maybe it's in your garage. As soon as it sells, you can package it up and get it shipped out the same day or the next day. And maybe because of that, you have top rated seller. With drop shipping, you're not going to get top rated seller because even if you order the item from, let's say, Walmart for the customer the same day, Walmart has like a 2-day handling time or so. So they might not ship it out right away. So for that reason, I do suggest you start a second store for that. And it's great to have you on board, Brian. And if anyone does want to check out the course Dropshipping Titans, that is the third link in the description of this video. It says my eBay Dropshipping Titans course and says pauljlipsy.com/bunch of numbers, which is today's date. So yeah, you can check that out if you want. Okay. Okay. Okay, I think that's pretty much all the time we have here. But I will remind you guys that if you haven't checked out the petition yet, which is all about trying to get our elected officials to pass laws that will protect us as small internet sellers, then I would suggest that you check the first link in the description of this video and we can rally together and support eBay in their petition to get these changes in place to help protect us. And if you guys want to make sure that you enter the contest, again, I'm giving away a bunch of free stuff, free entry to my Dropshipping Titans course, my Super Simple VAs course, coaching calls, an Amazon gift card. Make sure that you click the second link in the description of this video. I'm going to make tons of more videos for you guys all about eBay and Amazon dropshipping. If you don't want to miss them, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Do all those things. Give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for coming out, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.